Warning. The Pop Punk Book Club features heavily biased opinions and unapologetically wild takes performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals to ensure the safety of performers and animals alike. We may sound confident, but our views are based entirely on personal feelings. Accordingly, the PPBC and the producers must insist that everyone attempt to recreate and reenact these stunts and activities. Join us at poppunkbookclub.com.
You ready?
Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, man, I'm not well, hey. I got sick, I was sick last episode, and then I got better, and I thought, well, sweet, kicked its ass. Then it came back for round 2, and then
Always does that.
Yeah. Well, not normal. Sometimes I feel like I just get over sicknesses and I'm over it. I don't often get sick. And then it went away again. Oh, sweet, beat it. Round 2, knockout by me. No, round 3, what is it? Rear naked choke by this thing for the last week. I've been wrecked.
This is not what you want when you're sharing close space with someone, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, but aren't you the one who got me sick for 2 weeks off the pilot? You came in here with a cold and I was sitting this close to you and I was like, you're like, I should be good, man. I don't think I'm contagious. And I was sick for 2 weeks after that.
Turns out I had the plague.
Yeah, the black plague. That's funny.
But hey.
Yes. Hey.
Got something I got.
How are you?
I'm good, man. Got something that might make you feel a bit better.
What's this?
Have a look.
Oh, how am I going to do this with one hand? That's what she said. Does that work? Oh!
Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, it's not just about me.
No. So Jess bought it for someone as a present and it didn't fit.
Right.
And so she...
Oh, sweet. Second option.
Yeah, look. You could have been third.
Yeah.
She thought of you, though. That's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We have certain, Jason-related things that we joke about in our relationship.
Really?
Yeah. It's odd. And Back to the Future is one of them because...
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to think you get brought up in other people's
a surprising
lives?
amount. Yeah.
Surprising amount?
No, not really a surprising amount.
Any amount is surprising.
But because she knows you love it and she loved it when she was a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't think I saw it until I met her. And I think I watched it with her for the first time.
Yeah. So it's late high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even a bit later.
Yeah.
And so she gives me shit about it.
But you hadn't seen Back to the Future. Oh, yeah.
And she's always talking about how much you liked it. And self-conscious about that, by the way.
About what?
You ever feel like you missed the
Jason
boat?
Likes
No.
Back to the Future.
But do you ever feel like you get self-conscious if you feel like you missed the boat on some kind of thing that's significant from a pop culture perspective?
Sometimes.
But it's almost like where there's things where there's in-jokes.
Oh,
and you don't know it that well and you're kind of you're a bit on the outside.
Yeah.
But one of the other things we joke about that relates to you is, so she thinks that I'll only ever take your advice over hers.
What do you mean?
So
this is all news to me. I'm so shocked.
So it must have been this is years ago. I think I was sick with something or other. Yeah. And she was like, you got to go and see a doctor. You need to go and see someone.
I think you're going to say you got to go see Jay. He'll help you out.
I think I must have been hanging out with you and you must have said something like, oh, you should go to a doctor.
Yeah.
And so I went back and saw Jess and I was like, oh, Jason thinks I should go and see a doctor. I think I might go and do that. She's like, what the fuck? I'm telling you to go and see a doctor. But the funniest one.
Yeah.
That she remembers and I remember it well.
This is sick, by the way.
Yeah. Is in high school, there was a period where you thought that you had butt cheeks of steel.
Dude. I thought about this the other day.
Not in the sense that the glute muscle was made of steel, but you could clench them together to such a degree that it was impenetrable.
Do you know what's so funny? I haven't thought about this since high school, and it came up the other day, and I put it in my notes file to be like, I wonder if we'll ever talk about this on the podcast. That was my party trick, and I remember saying, genuinely, nobody can get their hands in there.
Well, when you say party trick, you would go around the playground at school and be like, I bet you can't get in there.
But I remember saying to you clearly one time with Jess there, I think when you were dating for maybe a year, it was impressionable stage. I'm like, you know that I can clench my butt cheeks so tight that you will not be able to get your hand up there, even if you try. And you're just like, no, I bet I could. And I was like, you will not be able to. I was like, have a go. Do it. Do you know what's actually really sad about that? Is I thought about that the other day and I had to retire that because that was one of my signs of realizing that I was aging. Because when I tried doing it at 22 and I cramped up and I was like, my days are behind me. My days are behind me. I can't do it anymore. But it was impenetrable.
There is a way worse way that you could have learned that you can't do that.
what on earth was I thinking? It's like, why did I think when I did that, geez, I bet no one could get their hand up that, you know what I mean? But I remember doing that to you and you did it one time, like you had sent it and I was like, see? As you're like lifting me off the ground because like wouldn't go through in front of Jess, like in front of your girlfriend as well. You're right, man. That has made me in a better mood. I'm gonna
there should be a unit of measurement for that as well. Like the degree to which
what do you mean?
Like to measure that degree of force.
Right.
Like 3.5 Jasons. Like or if it's like you measure it in like the composition of the object you can crush with your butt cheeks. Like, oh, you're at an aluminium can level.
I missed out on like a YouTube niche. I could have had like a hydraulic press niche covered, but like what can I squeeze with my butt cheeks? I was gonna try to do this. It's like my little baby. You can sit here next to me. This thing. Back to the Future. Maybe I need to bring it back. I'll go and I'll train. I'll go back into training.
That's right. It's probably the sort of thing you
I'll
could
hit the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be an awkward couple questions for people wanting to know what I'm doing.
Mind you, you're in an age group now where if you use that as your party trick or if you go around town testing like that or asking people to test it, you're asking for trouble.
Pushing 40, by the way. Pushing 40. But I'll tell you something really funny that happened to me the other day that I couldn't wait to tell you about this. So my business where I work, like the offices that I ran, are part of like a larger system of offices. So there's essentially a big building and a bunch of different businesses working out of it. Now, for anyone listening, I'm self-employed. I run my own business. So I don't have a boss or anything like that. But the guy who is the landlord who owns the building, he actually runs his businesses out of that office space as well. So he has his business up there. There's a couple other businesses, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Now, when I first signed up for rent or first asked him about rent, I said to him, is internet covered in the outgoings? I mean, in the rent, like, is it like covered in that way? And he said, no, we can't do that because it would be a security risk if all the businesses were on the same Wi-Fi. So you're going to have to sort your own internet out. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into the whole story because it was a long couple of days, 15 maybe calls back and forth, emails, support tickets, $350 on hardware spent just to find out that I can't actually have internet in the building at the same time as him. You can't have multiple businesses on different NBN lines without subdividing the unit. It's boring me even talking about it, right? But I went back to him and said, okay, this is the situation. Like, what am I meant to do? And he's like, look, honestly, I know you now. Just hop on our Wi-Fi. Just don't do anything stupid. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Anything like that. And you could tell that he wanted to say something but didn't really know how to say it or anything like that. So, but he eventually kind of mustered up the courage and was like, look, just don't look up any porn at work and you'll be fine. And I was like, and what's funny is that like, I'm very professional with my job. Like I'm very professional with my work and that kind of thing. But the moment that I feel like that I've become friendly with someone, it's almost like all my filters go and I just treat them like I would a close friend like you. I just kind of naturally find myself acting, then going, why did I say that sort of thing? Yeah. He said to me, don't do anything stupid. I said, no, of course not. And he's like, look, just don't look up any porn at work and you'll be fine. And I thought, without thinking, the best thing to say to that would be to go, aw. And that's right. And he laughed and I laughed and we left it there. We didn't really talk about it much at all. Yeah. Anyway, one of my good mates who I play video games with online, he broke his wrist skateboarding the other day. Right. It was a few weeks ago now, but he broke it was the other day, meaning like kind of recently. Yeah. And it's actually funny. I said to him, what trick were you doing that made you break your wrist? Like, how did you stack it? And he said, he was going up to try to learn rock to fakies. And then I said, oh, we accidentally learned how to do a rock to breaky. Anyway, so I'm in my office and it was the day that he got surgery. He had to get surgery. It's not really that funny, I guess, but he hurt himself. And I wrote into our group chat. I was like, hey, man, how did the surgery go? His name's Adam. And Adam said, yeah, it went okay, but my arm is like completely numb. Like they've put a nerve blocker in my shoulder and from my shoulder to my fingertips, I can't feel my arm at all. It's completely numb. Yeah. And I wrote in the chat, oh, wow, the ultimate stranger. That's a joke, right? You remember that from high school, that reference? And he cracked up and I thought that was funny too. But we have a friend in the group chat, Aaron, who is quite notorious for not getting jokes and memes and stuff. And sure enough, he comes in and goes, I don't get it. And I said, don't you remember that? There was like an urban myth or like joke or maybe like a meme from high school that was like, if you sit on your hand long enough and it goes numb and rub one out, it feels like someone else. The first time I heard it was in Gone in 60 Seconds. One of the guys in that movie says that. So I thought that was pretty funny. Adam comes back and said, yeah, I'll have to use my other arm to hold that arm though and do it because like, my arm's completely numb. And I wrote back and I said, oh, wow, the ultimate stranger plus Dutch rudder combo. Like no one's ever seen that before, right? And sure enough, we were laughing at that. And then Aaron comes back in and says, I don't get that either. And I was like, oh man, you can look that one up yourself. Like that's all good, right? And then about 10 seconds later, I went, nah, I mean, what if he hits images? You know what I mean? Like he could make a mistake here. So I was like, what I'll do is I'll get the Urban Dictionary like definition and put it in the chat, right? So I go and I screenshot it and I bring it back to the chat to put it into the chat. And there's a message from Aaron in the chat. And he said, yeah, probably shouldn't look that up at work. I'm on corporate Wi-Fi. And I went, oh, crap. And my mind went back to the conversation with the landlord where he goes, don't do anything stupid. And I go, no, of course I wouldn't. And then he said, just don't look up any porn at work and you'll be fine. And I go, aw. And then he laughed at it. And then he might be thinking I'm serious about that. And
were you on your work Wi-Fi when you're doing this?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Because I forgot my phone was connected to the corporate Wi-Fi, right? Or the building Wi-Fi. It's corporate for Aaron, but I was just on a business shared Wi-Fi. And I presume it's like probably because maybe porn sites have viruses on them and it could compromise the network. But maybe I've also heard that people who run IT stuff, they can see the outgoing traffic of like what people are searching for. So I just imagine my landlord finally seeing come up on his computer, Jason, who has said, like who acted like that porn is like he joked about it, supposedly that it's a big, an issue for him. He's been stinging in his office and the thing that he had to look up was a Dutch rudder of all things. So anyway, my landlord may think that I have an unquenchable thirst for Dutch rudders. You need to do a bit of like podcast admin.
Yeah.
Everyone who's listening at the moment, please do send in your thoughts about the episodes and we'll read them out on the show. Or like if you send in voice memos, we'll play them on the show. And like we'll hear your thoughts and hear about if it was the previous episode, cool. But if it's from 10 episodes ago, 100 episodes ago eventually, like please do write in and send it because I want to hear where we're right or wrong.
Yeah.
As I say,
you've got
probably
like
wrong.
A wildly different take to us. On,
are we right? Are we wrong? Or like what, that kind of stuff. But before we get into it, actually, what we talked about last week, I talked about how I met Motion City Soundtrack and I nearly took them to go see koalas and that kind of stuff. And in that story, I said about how I didn't have anything for Josh, the guitarist, to sign.
Yes.
So I used the back of my, do you remember what it was?
Library card?
No, my license.
I was
licensed. And I found it the other day. I found it.
So good.
Yeah. Signature. Check out 16-year-old Jason on the front of it. Dude, honestly, I cut my own hair. I'll put a photo up on the screen. I'll have to like blow some information on it. Because that address is still my parents' house.
I honestly would not have even been able to tell that was you.
Yeah.
I knew you when you were 16.
It was a rough photo because the lighting is so bad in that. It's like I look full emo. Like there's like shadows under my eyes so much. It's like, yeah. But I was definitely cutting my own hair at that point, and you can see because it looked like a mushroom head.
Yeah, like the buffy sides.
Yeah, but on the back you'll see the Motion City Soundtrack signatures, just to prove that I am telling the truth about what actually went on.
It does look like the photo of a kid that would show up on the news. It's like this kid went to school and did some messed up shit.
Well, my other license, I legit look like an axe murderer. So I think that's a good little story arc for me.
Yeah.
With life I didn't pursue. It's like the timeline of if I didn't cramp up that one night with the butt cheeks. Like where did I end up? You know what I mean? But what I want to talk about is
that in the Guinness Book of Records.
There we go. We've got a podcast goal.
Yeah.
Yep. To
Get
see
you in the
how many cans crushed by butt cheeks in 10 minutes.
You might have to beat some Russian guy.
True. That's so funny. True.
Some Russian weightlifter.
So what I want to talk about is, to chat about some nerdy rating stuff for just a second. I brought up the question on the last episode of how do we rate interludes that are technically on the album, part of a previous song? Like, are they an interlude? Sorry, are they not? So I thought about it through the week and I want to get your opinion on this, just so moving forward, we know what the standard is. Because if you didn't hear that episode on the Blink-182 Untitled album,
go and listen to it, by the way.
Absolutely go and listen to it. The album or our episode?
Our episode first.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. How about you go listen to the episode, then go listen to the album, then just come back and listen to it again. It'll make more sense and we get double the plays. Yeah? Okay. But the Stockholm Syndrome interlude is technically on the album Part of Violence. And I said that if I rated it technically as part of Violence, as part of the one track, it may have moved the album up into a Crown album for me because it was so close. So it really did matter like how I was going to rate that. So what I did was I thought about it and I thought about it long and hard and I want to get your opinion on what I've come up with.
Yeah.
So I've decided, in my opinion, I've decided sounds like it's final, but this is what I've thought. Interludes should always be considered their own tracks. Okay, even if they're part of another song, if it's clear that it's an interlude that is totally different from the track, it's its own interlude and needs to be rated as such.
Sure.
No matter how it gets put together, like on the actual album. It should be judged as its own creative decision, even if it is placed within another track. So the way I thought about this was like, should Violence be rated down if the Stockholm Syndrome interlude was bad? Like, no, it shouldn't be, because Violence is a different song. So that was my answer of, okay, it needs to be its own, rated as its own thing. I said, but if they put Stockholm Syndrome interlude at the start of Stockholm Syndrome instead, it would be one song. But that would be more like an intro. Like, it wouldn't actually be an interlude anymore. It would just be a long intro.
Well, that's why I think this is a moot point, because I'm pretty sure I just took it to be part of Stockholm Syndrome. I don't think I rated it separately.
You've done a third option then, because I thought the options were interlude part of Violence, and you're saying that you did interlude part of Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, no, that's just me.
It's very clearly separated. So in the future, I don't think we're going to run across it that often.
It's clearly an intro to Stockholm Syndrome. So it's not an interlude because it's not a separate track. It's like thematically, it's setting up what Stockholm Syndrome's about. There's a piano line from memory that actually features in Stockholm Syndrome as well. So to me, it's just an intro to Stockholm Syndrome, the song. I think the way when the album came out, it was at the end of Violence, but I think that was just so that when you were skipping to the tracks, you could skip immediately to the start of Stockholm Syndrome.
But it's not an interlude.
It's not an interlude.
Sorry to lawyer you right now, but why is it then written as an interlude inside the Apple Music and everything like that?
That's different to the way it was on the original release.
Still run by their label, though.
That, by the way?
Still run by their label. They're the ones who made the decision to say it's an interlude. What happened?
This will be the
Marty
answer.
fell.
This will be the answer. If you look at the track listing on the officially released compact disc signed by Jason, the track list doesn't have it separately listed. It just goes from Violence to Stockholm Syndrome. And that clearly is...
Yeah, but it's clearly an interlude.
It's just an intro.
Right. Anyway, so, look, I don't think we're going to run into it that often.
We're going to come to blows. But the point is, I think moving forward...
If you're keen, I am.
I think moving forward, I agree with you where there are interludes. Yeah. Let's do it your way. I just think as an example...
That's not my way. I'd be open for a discussion about it.
I mean, we'll use your suggestion for interludes moving forward, but I just think for Stockholm Syndrome, I don't think we need to rate it. Which means I think you can do your ratings. I don't think we need to rate it. No,
but it's clearly not. But it's not the start of Stockholm Syndrome. Sorry, or it would be in the start of Stockholm Syndrome.
You know the only way to resolve this:
rock paper scissors.
Well, I was going to say we put it to the listeners. They can tell us what they think.
Oh yeah, cool.
They know more than us anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, there have been several times in history where people have thought they're on the right side of it. This is an opportunity to be on the right side of history. If you're on my side, please let us know. If you're on Sam's, just put it in Sam's pigeonhole. Any bin. Have you seen that in In-Betweeners? Where he's like, just put it in my pigeonhole. He's like, which one's that? He's like, just any bin. So good. Oh, yeah. But I was saying that, so in this segment, I want to kind of go through submissions that people send through voice memos and that kind of stuff. So we can hear what people have to say and stuff. Did you see we got one?
No.
You haven't. Oh, you don't have access to the email, do you?
I got that. You haven't shared the password.
I haven't, no. But I didn't think we'd get one straight away, but we did.
Speaking of which, I should probably just have my own email address. Sam at Pop-Up Book Club, surely?
Yeah. Wrong boy. Wrong boy at the Pop-Up Book Club. So no, that's amazing if you haven't seen it. Because I mean, so you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, great. Because I figured that we
seriously haven't seen it.
We could go through it together on the podcast.
Yeah, sure.
And check it out. All right, sweet.
This is so good.
Yeah.
There's someone listening. I assumed there was no one listening.
I listen. Am I no one to you? If anyone out there wants to send your stuff in,
people know where to send it?
Yeah, so send it through to podcast@poppunkbookclub.com or go to poppunkbookclub.com and there'll be a couple of links there that you can click on to send stuff through. Do send them through and let us know your thoughts and that kind of stuff. Because last week we chatted about a few things and I just am really keen to see what they wanted to kind of discuss when it comes to like Blink-182 and stuff. So let's have a listen together.
Hey, boys. I just want to say that I agree with most of the Blink-182 ratings, but I can't sit here and let Sam talk about Shut Up in that way. Jason is right.
Yeah.
It is a flame.
Yeah.
And Sam is wrong for thinking that in the first place. What's wrong with that, man? I'm not going to listen to this podcast if you don't agree with Jason. Eventually, it's got to come around, man. What's up with that mustache?
Oh, a bit harsh.
But more importantly, Jason's right.
Mm-hmm.
He's been right this whole time, Sam.
That was from Kurt
Thanks.
in America somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought he made some good points.
Somewhere.
Yeah, no, he made some really, really good points. So Kurt, if you're out there, please keep sending in messages and that kind of stuff. He might have something to say about the interlude thing. I don't know, just kind of gives me an idea.
Kurt, I would have stronger words to say about you, but I don't want to alienate our only listener at this point. So I'm going to let this one slide for now. But I'm going to encourage you to lift your game.
That's no way to get Kurt on your side. I think he made some really solid points. He said it is a flame, and he's going to stop listening to this podcast if you don't come around eventually. And that's 100% of our listeners gone in one decision, Sam. So it's in your corner.
I'm being held hostage.
And what's really funny is that the rating system is based purely on subjective emotional reactions. Like, you better emotionally react to this song extremely to get a flame, or else I will not listen to this anymore. But regardless, I do really appreciate you sending your messages through. So if anyone else wants to send some through, please send them through, and we will chat about it.
So, Millencolin. Pennybridge Pioneers.
Pennybridge Pioneers.
Yeah.
Should we say that we have a little bit of a history with this album, first of all? Get everyone up to date with our terminology that we use with one another?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably right.
So when we first started this in 2020 and we're sending albums back and forth, we did it very differently. And I'm sure if you've heard the episode that we did about how to rate like we do, we talk about why that was wrong and how we improved upon it for today. But essentially, we used to just listen to an album from start to finish, then give it a rating at the end, which led to some mistakes. And Sam picked,
one notable mistake.
Yes, absolutely. So Sam picked this album for us to listen to, 5 years ago? And I listened to the whole thing sporadically, like a song here and there. Then I was riding my motorbike to and from the office, and I'd have it on in my headphones, but I'd barely be listening to it because I'd be riding and like I wouldn't be paying much attention. And when we came to chat about what we rated it, Sam's like, oh, this album's really good. I gave it a 5, which I'm really interested to see if that holds up now under the new rating system. But you said, I'll give it a 5. And I wrote back and I said, I've given it. No, it was me first. I wrote and said, I'll give it a 3. And you're just like, a 3? I gave it a 5. Dude, and that was the first time you ever said, you should probably go back and re-rate this because that's way too low. Yeah, so I did. And then from that day forward, we refer to, how would you explain it? Like unfairly rating an album because you're not paying it the attention it deserves as Millencolin an album.
Yeah, you Millencolin it.
You Millencolin that album, man. You need to go back and do it. So anyone listening now knows that if we ever refer to, that would actually be a big call for one of us to say, you have Millencolin this album, sir.
Yeah. We should be like, you get to use that expression once. To the other person, where you think that they've just like so undershot where this album should be, you get to use it once. You got to use it wisely. You can't use it every time.
Well, but how is it the person's fault that the other person is so bad at rating that you like?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Let's go. You can force a Millencolin re-listen once per year.
Yeah. So you got to force them to go back and re-listen to it.
You say, you sir have Millencolin that album, and you have to go back and re-listen to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, and then the person also has to state a case why they feel like they've missed it.
Yeah. Sure.
There is an album that we haven't got, what we haven't done yet, and I don't think in our next couple that we've got lined up that we haven't talked about, but I really think you Millencolin.
Yeah, really.
That I really want you
I'm
to go back.
I'm interested to know which one that is. Can you tell me in advance, or maybe that? No, maybe we shouldn't do that.
I'll tell you now, but I'm bleeping it because I want it to be surprised when it comes around. It was this album that you said sounded like a bunch of teenagers, and you didn't pay much attention. You gave it a 2. And I was like, dude, I heard that album. I'm like, that is everything we would have loved in high school, and you would have loved that. And I actually was heartbroken when you said that. Yeah. Because I was looking forward so much about it. I was laying in bed just going, I just don't get it. Why didn't he like it? I was like, he's going to love this.
It's like you
album.
took it personally.
No, not personally. I just couldn't understand it.
But no, I know how you feel, because with this album, as in Pennybridge Pioneers, this, I think, the whole time we've been doing the book club, this for me is like my favorite discovery. Actually, there's 2. The band Pup. Yeah, is right up there. I didn't know that band before.
Neither.
And now they're one of my favorite bands. But this particular album, Pennybridge Pioneers, might be
in terms of
what?
A lot of P's.
Too many. But in terms of like just single albums, in terms of like a discovery, because I didn't really know the album that well before we listened to it in the book club. Like I'd heard like the big songs before, back in high school, but never ever gave it the time to listen to the whole album. Like another one of those things where it's like I always felt a little bit self-conscious that I didn't really know Millencolin that well. Like I feel like I'd missed the boat on them.
I didn't know anything about them aside from No Cigar from Tony Hawk's Pro
Oh,
Skater 2. And
So
I hadn't really heard the album at all. So when we heard it in 2020, it's the first time I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd heard Fox. Well, you would have heard Fox as well.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I don't know where I would have heard it if I did. But like a lot of the songs that I knew, because we didn't have access to a lot of music, because it was CDs or mixtapes or whatever, I would know that I knew that song.
Yeah.
Unless you say, oh, it's the song out of this movie or out of this video game.
Sure.
And I go, oh, yeah. It sounds familiar, but I'm not that familiar with it.
But
before now.
Yeah. And so when we listened to it for the book club, it was the first time I'd listened to the album all the way through. And I was like, oh my God, like it blew me away. Still remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when I listened to it. And I was just like so excited to talk to Jason about it. And then you give it a 3. You Millencolin it. You bloody Millencolin it.
A Millencolin.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
And it's so deflating because you're like, you want to have this thing that you're going to like bond over because it's like, he's going to love this. This is right. I know this. He's going to like this and I'm going to like this and we're going to talk about it.
But what happened after? Do you remember? I did go back and re-listen to it and I came back and said I loved it. So I admitted that's why.
I remember that less well.
I remember the heartache. But that was the thing. I admitted I was wrong and that's why we use the term Millencolin in it because it's actually genuinely, it wouldn't be Millencolin it if it was, we have a different term for an album that is just really bad and will remain bad. And we won't listen to it on the show because we're here for positivity mostly. So, but
true.
There was an album we listened to that we have a term for, an album that is just objectively bad. And has a couple of good songs, but the rest is bad. But for Millencolin it, that's when you genuinely made a mistake and you haven't given it the appreciation you deserve.
Yeah.
It will be really interesting hearing that if there's a re-listen, maybe in podcast admin, in that little section, you can say what your thoughts were if you're wrong or right or something like that. And it will be really interesting to be like, no, I stand by my decision. It's not good.
Yeah. Where is the worst place for you to listen to music, do you think, in terms of like actually, I'll do it another way.
Yeah.
What's the best context for you to listen to an album when you're doing a book club listen?
I usually give it my intentional focus. So that would be something like usually in a private room, or I'll sit down in like the lounge room with headphones on and I have my Remarkable here and I just write notes, but focused on the music and focused on writing. Yeah. Not riding a motorbike with it on like at about 25% volume.
It's like for me, like if I'm driving, that's not the best way for it to be a first listen. Like subsequent listens, that's kind of fine. But like for the first listen, it needs to be like headphones where you're not distracted.
Yes, I agree.
But,
I just find that especially when it comes to the book club, I really want to make sure that we get one shot at the album. So I want to give it my full attention. Yeah. So I will make sure that I give it at least a full intentional listen through, maybe 2. Because some songs, have you noticed that with some songs? Like you can rate them off your first listen and go, oh, that's a great. And then you'll go, actually, no, I've sat with it a while. It's not great. That's a potential flame. Like I just had to sit with that for a while. Like, so I think that, back in the day when I'd listen to an album once and just do my ratings in one pass, like I don't think it would be as accurate as the intention I'm giving him here. But
more often than not, though, I do think it's kind of instinctive. Like you listen to it and just kind of like, I know that this is a Crown song or whatever. Yeah.
Some songs do they're like flames in disguise.
Oof, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's some good advice for the listeners right there about how to listen to the albums when you're
definitely. So just stick with it because sometimes, I mean, back in the day, do you remember this? Like, I think this is the problem with like the modern music industry is the fact that because music is so accessible, people don't really gravitate toward albums and maybe artists don't even think about as much creating albums that challenge people.
Oh, for sure.
Because I remember some of my favorite albums that I am so deeply emotionally connected to are albums that when I first saved up and went and bought them and listened to them, I didn't like them. And I was I didn't want to listen to this album. 2 examples of that. One example was Daisy by Brand New. I didn't like that album when I first heard it. But because I paid for it, it was on in my car. I just kept giving it a go. It became one of my favorite albums because I realized I connected with that album in the way the band intended, I'm pretty sure. And the other thing was, after listening to They're Only Chasing Safety, Define the Great Line was a huge jump by Under Oath. And at first, it took a little while. Not that I didn't like that. I did like it, but it took a while for that to grow on me. And that's one of my favorite albums ever. So I feel like with music, the more you sit with it and the more you allow it yourself to sit with it, the more you connect with it and the more it means to you, which ultimately isn't that what this is all about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And also, I guess partly like the old thing about having like the physical media, it's like it's yours. That probably makes you like...
But now,
have more of a connection to it as well.
If you listen to an album and you don't like it, you skip it and go to another one or go back to another playlist.
But albums on the whole, like as an art form, you want to call it that, like it's kind of degrading. Like because like nowadays with streaming, like most albums will be like 20 songs. Yeah. There's tons of filler.
Yeah.
Like it's not like there's a whole lot of thought that's going into constructing an album really like
I mean,
carefully.
This is touching on what I do for a job. I could legit
just
like
insulting you.
No, I could 100%. Marty. I could 100% go on a half an hour rant about the fact that people are just using singles to try to test the market to see what resonates with their listeners best, to lean into that angle to make more money. And they make songs 2 minutes long that if you repeat them, you can't really tell where it repeats, so that it just stays on to make more streaming revenue. Yeah. It's so manufactured and so crap, when albums, I think, need to still exist. And the artists that do release albums typically do well. But I'll save that for my other platforms. Did you know that Pennybridge Pioneers is actually a reference to their hometown?
Yes.
They live in, I don't know how to pronounce it because it's Swedish. It's an O with the 2 dots over the top of it, but Åbro, we'll say.
Yeah.
And Å means penny and bro means bridge. So
cool.
Åbro, and they, is Pennybridge, translated English, and they call themselves the Pennybridge Pioneers. Yeah. And I was like, that's really cool.
So good.
I had no idea about that.
Did you also see that they obviously had a big connection to skate culture when they were coming through as well? They were obviously big skaters themselves.
Well, Millencolin is a reference to the skateboard trick.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. This whole time, I was a skater when I was younger. I've always loved skate culture. I was heavily involved in it when I was a teenager. And I never knew that Millencolin was the name of a trick, because I know Melon and I know Melancholy, which is more of a snowboarding trick, I would think. Melon is what skateboarding version is, I guess. But I saw that they named it after the skateboarding trick. Yeah. And it's called a Millencolin was their take on it. So maybe, is that something to do with translation?
No, I just assumed that's what it is, what melancholy is in
Swedish.
In Swedish,
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. Yeah.
It looks like a melon, which is, melon is short for melancholy, I think. I don't know. Grab tricks, that wasn't my strongest thing. But
and did you see they've got their own skate park? And they host a skate tournament.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I don't know whether they still do it now, but it sounds like they did it for quite a while.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. Did you, you would have been a big fan of Tony Hawk, the game?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So was that your first exposure to the band? Yeah.
Yes. So all I knew was No Cigar. That was the only song that I knew from.
That was the song that was on
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yeah. Cool.
But I saw that this one was produced by Brett Gurewitz of Bad Religion produced it. It's such a good sounding album for the era. It's super bright, super punchy. It's very of the trend that was just emerging. So it's kind of sounded a bit ahead of its time. Yeah. Their album that was previously before this, For Monkeys. The recording on that is so different. It's not as polished. It's really kind of harsh. And it's like ska. So this is the first album where they're stepping away from the ska-ish kind of punky kind of sound and to be pop punk to be this new kind of sound. Yep. And I mentioned that to one of my friends the other day who was a few years older than me. So he likes a lot of the bands that, as we have talked about, is just outside of our era that we're now discovering now a bit more. But he grew up with bands like Millencolin and Body Jar and NoFX and No Use for a Name and all those bands. And he said that it did divide the fan base a little bit. A lot of people didn't like Pennybridge Pioneers when it first came out because they wanted that ska kind of Millencolin sound.
Ska's never been my thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't heard good ska.
Maybe.
Maybe I haven't either. I don't really know. But I think it's people who say I listen to every, all music except rap and country. And it's you've not heard good rap or country. But this also is the first album they recorded outside of Sweden. I saw that as well. Yeah. So that's a huge, think about that for the band. Yeah. 3 albums in Sweden, I would assume. And then straight to America to record with Bad Religion. And get it produced by someone who knows what they're doing, and then landing the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater thing.
Have you listened to any of their other albums other than For Monkeys? Their earlier ones?
No, not earlier ones.
Yeah. Because I think their first album was Same Old Tunes in 94.
Yeah.
Which is really good production for 94.
Okay.
Should have listened to that.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Well, when you think that in 94, Blink were doing Buddha and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that was awful production. This is
they recorded that in a house on cassette or something like that.
And then Life on a Plate, I think, was their not their breakthrough, but at least their song that they started touring a bit more widely after that one.
Grow the audience kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's definitely punkier than this.
Yeah.
A little bit like that 90s MXPX style, and a bit like a more melodic sort of Pennywise type.
Yeah, okay.
Type style.
Well, to be honest, For Monkeys has a ska influence, but it's only the 5th track in that you actually hear ska.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
There's a bit of ska on Life on a Plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it just kind of lacks the memorable choruses that this album has.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
But I was thinking that because this album was so polished, this would be their enema. I know we're bringing things back to Blink all the time, but from Dude Ranch to Enema was such a big jump. This album was their Enema of the State.
And it was a move away from that ska, more traditional punk to something that was a little bit more a little bit more rockier.
Yeah.
And like more melodic and slightly more mainstream as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned Brett Gurewitz, from Bad Religion, who produced it. And he's produced Pennywise as well, and NoFX and bands like that.
Yep.
And I reckon you can definitely hear that in some of the sounds on this album. Like,
yes.
It's kind of like, there's definitely parts where I would say it's kind of like a more melodic version of Pennywise.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny
Like-
that, because we saw them live with Pennywise kind of recently.
Yeah.
That was good. But I have to say, the part that surprised me, and you too, I know because we talked about this, but like, because Pennywise played as well, like how good were Pennywise?
Yeah.
Like, I loved them a bit growing up. Like they weren't my favorite band ever, but I really did like them when I was younger. I know you didn't listen to them much.
No.
And to be honest, you weren't a huge fan of them when we went through and did a couple of their albums, or maybe one.
I think Straight Ahead.
Straight Ahead.
Yeah.
Because that's the album I had that one. I bought that when I was like 15.
Yeah.
But seeing them live, I didn't expect you to be like, I thought you'd be like, oh, I just what, because they were swapping headliners every set. So we had, every night. So we had Pennywise early for us and then Millencolin after. So I expected you to come out of it being like, oh, they were good, but like I was waiting for Millencolin. But you were just like, man, Pennywise are good.
Yeah.
And they're
It's one
only
of those
60. And they've done it for so
yes.
long and they sound exactly the same.
But it's like, you can tell these guys have been playing music for like 40 years together.
Yeah, they're just
like,
locked in. Like Metallica, like that 40, 50 years of experience together. And well, not 50, they didn't play when they're 10. 40 years of experience. And they're just completely like, they just know each other back to front. It's just crazy.
It was just like a wall of sound.
Yeah.
And there's only one guitarist as well.
I know.
It's brutal.
Yeah. But dude, that guy's big enough to be three guitarists.
True.
He's so intimidating.
He's intimidating.
I didn't talk about that last week on Blink-182, but in Mark Hoppus's memoir, when he talks about hanging out with Pennywise on the road and how brutal Fletcher is, he sounds like not scary, because I bet he's probably the most loyal dude in the world, but he would just be intimidating.
Yes.
Like, what do you say? That's why you don't.
He
ever
did
mess
fly
with
them
Pennywise.
around the world on tour with them.
True.
But
So
then
I think
just
he's
gave the whole way.
Yeah. That's exactly it. What a legend.
Millencolin was still awesome live.
Yes. No, they were very, very good.
But I think like the takeaway from that show from me was like, how good is Pennywise?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're of that era now where it's like that's Dad's music. You know what I mean? Dad's gonna go see the bands he listens to, and it's like, ugh.
But we were like pretty much the youngest people there.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many Pennywise fans there were in Newcastle. Like I live amongst these people and I had no idea that there were thousands of people that knew Pennywise that well and was so into them and like had their shirts and was so into it. And the culture that they have around them is still so good. It makes me so happy to see that it's still thriving so much, because shows like that very much may not have existed, you know what I mean? Or wouldn't exist. Really cool.
But yeah, Millencolin was still like, considering they've been going around for a long time as well, they're still awesome live. Like the singer was really, really good.
Both bands also said that Australia is one of their favorite places to tour, which is really cool to hear.
I was going to say, like, Millencolin seemed like one of those bands that are like super genuine. They're just
I got that vibe when they're on stage.
Yeah.
And they're even, just mates.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also like when you listen to this album, like it's pretty clean and wholesome. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they give that vibe live, like when they're talking between songs, like they just
wholesome is the right word.
Yeah,
they feel like they're genuine.
Yeah,
and very authentic. They're like the people who have like grown up in Sweden, and this is like beyond their wildest dreams, and they're just super appreciative, even at the age they are now, to be like, we can't believe we do this. Which is just it's so good.
One of the things that strikes me about this album is just like just about every song on the album has something that's super memorable about it.
Okay,
and it's like, it's usually a vocal hook. Because I would say, like, if you think about like where they fit on like the spectrum of like punk to pop punk, musically, I think they're a bit more punk.
Yes.
But vocally, it's a bit more pop punk.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like if you think about some pop punk bands have got like a lot of like guitar hooks and stuff like that, that's not really what this band is about. Like, like the music is a little bit, I guess, straighter. But
that's a good word. It's very straight.
Yeah. But in like in the vocals, that's where it gets really hooky. And like every song's got something about it that just grabs you. Mm-hmm. It's like one after the other. And there'll be like a song that'll come on and like you're listening to it and you're like, oh yeah, this is all right. And all of a sudden something like the chorus hits like, got me again.
Exactly. Or it's the opposite way around, where the verses are so solid and the chorus isn't as good, but the verses are so good. Like they've got so much like talent that even the fillers have brilliance in it. Yeah. Like, but
every single song is like, you little bastard. You little bastard. All right. So should we get into the song ratings?
Yeah. No Cigar.
No Cigar.
First song. What an opener, dude.
Yeah.
What'd you give this one?
This is a crown.
Dude, this is a flame for me.
Flame?
Yes. I love this song so much, and I've loved it since I was a kid. And there's so much in this song that I think when I was younger, and maybe I did try to listen to the album at a certain point in my life because, I actually think I remember doing that because I was like, I love No Cigar so much. And that sound, it's like minor but major at the same time. It's like, it's a really quite peculiar, but the energy in No Cigar, I had really hoped that the album had more of that. And it doesn't, I mean, it does. There's little bits of it where it ties back to No Cigar a little bit. I just found that like getting straight into like the poppier ones straight away rather than just keeping that kind of drivey kind of minor kind of but uplifting sound. Like I looked for more of that. And I think maybe that made me go, oh, okay, it's not what I'm looking for. And I didn't listen to it much.
Yeah, right.
But I wanted the whole album to sound like this because I loved this song so much since I was a kid. Everything about it, that chord progression in the intro is so hard hitting with that high riff thing that he's just, it's like you said, there isn't a lot of like lead guitar work. There's a guitar solo in one of the songs, which is really interesting.
There's a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not, but that's different from like a guitar hook that you see in some like pop punk bands.
Yeah. This is more like the top part of a chord that he's just playing and hitting like a changing note over the top of it, but it just adds to the chords and it's this wall of sound. It's really, really good.
Like it starts with a drum, like build up, like like a snare roll type thing.
Yes. And isn't that so much compression on that? Hey, it's like, it's so loud. But it's that is such a good opener and intro. And they close with that at our show too, No Cigar, which is awesome.
Such an energetic start to an album.
Like
it just explodes.
It just
so
exactly
good.
like punches you in the face. Which I was wanted to say as well. What add that to the draft of like best openers on any song.
For sure.
No Cigar is like that's up there as like best of the best.
What a great way! Like so you start your album like with this build up of tension. Yeah. And then it's like explode into a song. Like it's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I only knew of this song from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. So that was the one. My exposure was only through that. I hadn't heard it anywhere else.
Yeah. Which is the best Tony Hawk, do you reckon?
Well, how many did you play when you were younger?
I didn't play them a whole lot, but it was really only the first two.
Dude, I have played so much. Let me sit up. Because I got to tell you this. You know this. I went through some health complication stuff last year and I spent like 6 months recovering. And I was... what I did to pass the time is play through all of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters. So last year I played through and completed. So not gaps, if anyone's listening and they know the games well enough. I didn't do 100% of all gaps. I did that on some games, but not all of them. So when I say 100%ed, I mean all goals and stats and cash and on all skaters too, not just one skater. Okay. So I finished Tony Hawk's Skateboarding, which anyone listening, before you jump at me, that's what it was called in Australia. The first game was Tony Hawk's Skateboarding in Europe and Australia. But in America, it was released as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Right. But I finished both Tony Hawk's Skateboarding and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Same game, exactly the same, just different name.
You just did it twice.
Yeah, pretty much. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on PS1, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on PS2. That took so long, by the way. That there's like 15 skateboarders or more in the game, and there's so many goals. That was so grindy. I didn't like that one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on PS1 that I didn't even know existed, and I played through that and finished that one as well. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on PS2 multiple times. Tony Hawk's Underground 1, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. I started Project 8 or whatever it's called on PS2, and I kind of just got a bit tired. But I feel like I'm the dude to answer this. At least I can give my subjective opinion. It's like in sports, you know, where people go, what is the greatest of all time? And it's like, okay, who is the greatest for the sport? As in, who did the most for the sport and is the one that should be idolized or immortalized in a statue of like they did so much for the sport? And who is the best? I think can be different things.
Sure.
Sometimes people are better at the sport, but they're not greater for the sport. That type of thing. So I think I have two answers for this. I would say the greatest Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game of all time, I think, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I think that did so much for the series and it's just soundtrack banging, the way the mechanics, the gameplay, everything. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is amazing. But my favorite one that I think is the best is Tony Hawk's Underground 1. Okay. I have played through that so many times. Tony Hawk's Underground 2 is really good as well, but Tony Hawk's Underground 1, I've played through that probably 8 times over the last year and a half. I just keep resetting it and playing through it again. So yeah, I care about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That's all we've got time for.
No, we just segued into the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater book club. Yeah. All I'd heard was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was this song. And the soundtrack, man, like I traced this back ages ago. I was like, why is it that when I grew up, I was trying to find out what got me into the songs and the music I like. And I found eventually I got it down to that I was introduced to pop punk and hip hop. Because I like rap as well, but I could never figure out who in my life introduced me to pop punk and hip hop. Then I realized, I can. It's the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack, which is quite predominantly pop punk and hip hop for the most part. And that's where I heard all these bands that I love that made me like bands later. So my whole journey, I've never had another job other than working in the music industry. I've lived it my entire life, and it's all thanks to Tony Hawk. And he was the one who actually picked the soundtrack himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So with number one,
Okay.
he approached Goldfinger and said, I want to put Superman in it. And they said, are you sure? Like, we have better songs you can pick from. And you know, Tony Hawk said, nah, this is the one. Trust me. And of course, it's the most recognizable thing of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But that's Tony Hawk had a lot to do with picking the songs. He just said he wanted to, he just gets skate culture and knows what songs kind of represent that.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
Awesome.
But I just think this song has so much energy. Like from start to finish, you're right, from the drum roll at the very start, just punches you in the face into the song after that.
And the like double time drums in the chorus as well. Like it even amps up the energy then.
Yeah.
They don't really let it down till the second verse. They do a really good job, I think, of like it just stays really big, really hard and fast. And the second verse, they kind of ease it out a little bit.
That's true. I also think that what they did in this song that is so hard to capture, which is probably why it pushed to a flame for me, is that this song just embodies culture. Like this is skate culture of early 2000s. This is like the punk rock scene, the pop punk scene, all together, like music and skateboarding and everything that stands for in the emergence of things like, you know, Jackass and that type of thing. But like this is culture in a song. And I think they did such a good job with it. So yeah, I mean, I think they've actually come up with like, this is legit, shows like them at their absolute peak. Like this is Millencolin at the best they can be.
Yeah, for sure.
In my opinion. And to come from a Scar-esque type background and then come out with your first track on this song being No Cigar, like, man, what happened? There are so many amazingly talented bands from Sweden. I wonder what's going on over there for them, like that have defined genres and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a lot of Swedish talent, that's for sure.
Fox.
Okay, so for Fox, I gave this one a crown.
Me too.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Yeah.
This is a really Now that I know that the album doesn't sound like No Cigar, and I've sat with it obviously over the last 5 years, I now get what they were doing and I can see their vision.
Yeah.
This is such a good second song. Like,
sure.
It just shows like, hey, we've done the hard-hitting song, but we're still upbeat and happy.
Yeah.
The metaphor of it being sounding like about a girl, but it's about a motorbike. Like, really,
not sure
really
I
cool.
knew that for a long time.
Neither. Yeah,
I was like, well, this is ballsy to see a song about this.
She's a real good ride and stuff like that. It's like, oh, just out in all his, like, not dirty laundry. I don't know how you say that, but whatever. Yeah. It's a hilarious double entendre. Yeah. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
But it's just that really upbeat kind of poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great beat.
Yeah.
Is it a swing beat?
It's just an upbeat poppy beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what that would even be called.
Yeah, okay.
So you're asking me questions to take me back to like my guitar tuition days when I was and like music theory and like I'm like, I haven't thought about that in 15 years.
It's not that common in the genre.
No.
Like Green Day use it a little bit.
Funny you say that because there's another song that they do something in that I was thinking I might save it to them, but they do a beat that I'm very Green Day-esque.
Yeah. Super effective.
But it's like
and what a cool change up as well from the first song to the second song. Like the first song's so drivey and hard, and then this one, like it's still upbeat, but it's got that kind of like a swingish kind of
It's almost like a triplet, like kind of that. That's the Green Day sound that what's that song? Longview? Whatever.
Yeah, Longview.
Like triplet kind of sound.
Yeah.
I love the lyric. It cracked me up where he says, to prevent something like a theft, I got her locked around a tree. It's just, it's so like descriptive, like so literal. It's just like prevent something like a theft. I don't know. Someone might steal it.
There's a few times with the lyrics, they obviously speak English very well, but it is English. I assume it's their second language.
Yeah.
Do they write the lyrics in Swedish?
Oh, okay.
And these are translations, or do they write them in English? Like,
and it's just,
I guess they must be written in English
for
the rhyming.
Yeah. I think you'd write it in English, and it makes sense. They're communicating what they mean.
For sure. Yeah,
no, I'm not saying
it's just interesting phraseology.
But I think that's the thing when people go, you can just tell that people aren't like the English might be their second language because they'll phrase it in a different way, and you go, that's a really interesting way that you'd put that. And I get what you mean. It's just not the way it would be said. I just love that lyric in a song. To prevent something like a theft, I got her locked around a tree. Did you hear the auto-tune in the bridge?
No, I didn't pick that up.
I cannot unhear it every time it comes on. It's the part where he goes, it's okay for me as long as let her be. I'll find it. Where is it? Cool. Where's my phone? Yeah, dude. It's the dawn of auto-tune. It's like when people use AI imagery now and they think that no one can tell, but everyone's starting to pick up and like realize how to tell AI imagery. It's like that auto-tune. Maybe it just sounded good because it was in tune and they didn't realize now. I mean, now everyone knows what too much auto-tune sounds like.
I reckon a lot of people wouldn't have picked that one up.
No, of course
it's not as obvious as a lot of the ones.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really funny is that auto-tune sound was popularized. It's funny because when I ran my recording studio, a lot of bands would come in and call that the Kanye sound. And I was like, no, it's the Cher sound from Do You Believe in Love After Love or whatever?
Yeah.
And when people asked Cher's producers, how did you come up with that sound? Because we want to know how to do it. They lied and said it was a Digitech vocoder, not that it was auto-tune. And all these people are like, we have that gear and we can't get that sound. So they're stuffing around trying to get that sound out of it and can't get it working because they wanted to hide it as like an effect.
Yeah.
And now everyone just knows it's auto-tune. Just crank it up. I think this song influenced so many hits that came after. So I'm not saying that they invented that bouncy sound, but I think that I can hear so many songs sound like that, like Sugar Cult. Like bands like that, like where you hear stuff that they do and you go, that sounds like that upbeat. I think bands like that would be like, I've got this idea for a riff, kind of like that, like Millencolin Fox kind of sound.
Yeah,
I think that's where I think they influenced a lot with this. They're not the first to do it, but I think that melodically, how upbeat and vibrant this song is, and how much of a banger it is.
Yeah. Well, this song was massive as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I probably have heard it throughout my life.
I'm sure you would have to have heard it. Yeah,
you're probably right.
So Material Boy.
Yeah.
I gave this a crown.
Yes, crown, same.
Yeah, nice.
And 3 amazing opening tracks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was like, wow, this album starts with 3 crowns and you've gone flame, crown.
Yeah, flame, crown.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just love how much energy this song has.
Dude, yes. It's just like, it just grabs you and like holds you up the entire song.
And that's why I think it's interesting when you say that with No Cigar, where you were like, I was hoping the entire album would be like this. Like this song doesn't have that minor tinge to it.
Energy.
That one has the same energy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like right from the first beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I love also that with the lyrics, the first one is like a really kind of emotional kind of song. Second one's just like, I love my motorbike like it's my girlfriend. And the third one is like, I am just ironically and very sarcastically saying that I'm just all about consumerism and support because that's what people are like these days.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like you don't know where it's going to go, like lyrically.
Sure.
Great lyrics and great take on materialism. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that the emotional tone of the song, separate from the lyrics, is very different from like the meaning of the lyrics. Because I listened to the song and if you're not paying attention to what the lyrics are, it's really uplifting.
Yeah.
Particularly that chorus. Like, it's such a banger of a chorus. And like when you listen to it, you're just kind of like, like that.
Yeah. It's got that punk energy to it where it's like anthemic.
Yes. It's anthemic. Yeah, for sure. And then you read the lyrics and you're like, oh, this is a really ironic, cynical song.
He's very cynical.
Yeah. And it's like, I assume that's intentional. But it's just really interesting. Like, it's incongruous in some ways between like the literal meaning of the song in terms of the lyrics and like the emotional tone of the song musically.
Would you say that adds to the sarcasm though?
Well, maybe that's it. Because I was kind of like, oh, why have they chosen to do that?
Yeah.
But for like the message of the song.
Yeah.
But I guess as you say, like maybe it just enhances the sarcasm.
Yeah.
We're going to sing this song that's like super sing-along, anthemic.
Yeah.
Really like good.
Because we're all idiots, aren't we? Just consuming stuff and like, overconsumption.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah.
I really like the lyric that he says, now I'm a material boy. There's nothing in this world I don't think I need. Yes. Like, not that I don't need, that I don't think I need. Like, everyone just thinks they need more stuff. But I was going to say, lyrically, while we're kind of going into that, definitely in the book club, but is this the first time that either of us has seen or heard the word iMac as a lyric?
What?
Isn't that interesting?
But have you listened to the way he sings that line? You can barely decipher what he's saying. Like, he sings it so fast. Like it's almost like he's skimming over words because the line is, I bought a new iMac and mouse, a phone to go with my new spirit.
Yeah.
But like he just like flies through that line.
But in a house, and it's like to be honest, I have listened to this album before, but I've never actually sat down and read the lyrics while listening to it like I have for the book club. And I genuinely could not believe how thorough the lyrics are. Like I was going to say deep, but that has certain connotations to it, like emotional depth. He has so much like depth. No, I don't know how to say this. It's like he's so broad in the lyrics that he's saying, but that sounds like it's not deep. You know what I'm trying to say is that he's just thorough. Like I think that's the best word to use to describe this, as strange as that is. It's just, it's specific, but not in like a Motion City soundtrack sense where it's very list-like. He's just he's going through saying what he needs to say, like to prevent a theft, to have it locked up around a tree.
Yeah.
It's literal, like, you know what I mean? But it's thorough. You know exactly how he feels because he's not using cryptic metaphors. He's just saying this is what it is.
I bought a new iMac and
A new iMac and a mouse. That's so sick. I mean, maybe it's an actual like animal mouse. Like
maybe
because that's materialism, isn't wanting those mice. Duck Pond.
I gave this a great.
Same.
Yeah.
Aside from No Cigar, I think we're like on track for pretty much being bang on the same.
Yeah.
I said that this album is just energy after energy. Every song is so big and just holds the album up.
Yeah. And again, it's like what I was saying before. Like every song's got something about it that just hooks you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's the verses in this song. That's my favorite part. Where it's like, it's got like a halftime vibe in the verse, which is really cool. But again, it's just like, there's something about every single song that
the
just
verses
gets you in.
are solid. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the chorus is really good. So it reminds me a lot of the emo bands that came a few years later.
Yeah, right.
Not like emo sounding, but the way that they approach harmonies. There's a lot of like boy band-esque harmonies in this where they have like the big kind of wall of sound harmonies behind them that are really mixed into the track. He has such a like gritty kind of gravelly kind of mix on him with a bit of saturation, but his voice is quite like punky and in your face. But then it's really soft, big, lush backing vocals.
Yeah.
It's not just harsh people singing on stage, whatever. It's very blended, which is really interesting. But I like how they do that in this too. But the way they approach their harmonies reminds me a lot of what I think a lot of emo bands would have tried to emulate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
With that like wall of sound rather than specific different harmonies, or like what do you mean?
Like kind of chord progression kind of thing with the way, specifically how the harmony moves with the melody. It just gave me that kind of vibe of this sounds emo-esque, but not like, doesn't sound like an emo song.
Yeah.
Just I can hear the influence.
Yeah, cool.
I have another note here that so far into this album, the lyrics on this album are great. It's like a really, this song I think it's like a really mature look at his like young life. I think he's in his 20s because in another song he says like, I was 20, at 22 I did this and 23 and that kind of stuff. So I would assume he's in his 20s. And it's a really mature like look into his art, his mind, without it seeming like he thinks he's better than everyone else or pretentious. You know, some people are like, I have to tell you about my life because I've got insight and wisdom. He's like, this is just how I'm feeling and this is what's kind of going on. It's like this album is a snapshot of like a photo book of his life at that time. Loved my bike, everyone's buying stuff and I don't like that. You know what I mean? Locked around a tree, no one's stealing that thing. But this song should be a good or a fine at this point. For any other band by this point, you would let the energy go down a little bit and you'd be like, it was good or whatever. But they just kept it up. I think that's really, really cool. So right about now, I think it's time we talk about Right About Now.
Right About Now.
Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. So I just said about him saying 24 and 25 and that kind of stuff. And this is the song that he does that in.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this is just more energy. And I think there is such a good guitar tone on the intro. That really twangy kind of like Telecaster-y kind of sound.
Yes, it is very telly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But again, it's more bouncy style rhythms. He sings really fast in this track.
He sings fast the whole way through.
Yeah. Which makes it harder to understand what he's saying. So when you see the lyrics, it's like, wow, he's actually saying a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
But I love how fast the vocals are in the chorus. It sounds like to me like old British pop punk. I wouldn't be able to specifically reference any bands, but I've heard like a few songs of bands like that. And they just get really like, kind of like fast singing. And it sounds like that. Then again, all the words in the song are fast. But to me, I just really like the fast chorus.
What are you rating this song? We skipped over the lyrics.
I just got so ready to chat about it. I gave this one a grade.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Another one.
I know.
Aside from No Cigar, we'll count that because it's close. But we're not disagreeing hard on anything.
No, we need to find a point of difference here.
You just want the tension.
What's that?
We've got to find a point of difference here. We've got to disagree somewhere.
It's not as memorable as some of the other ones, though.
No.
I would say.
I would say this is
why it's
a
not
filler, but it's still, for your filler to be great, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
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 I said this song has a punkier edge, which separates a little bit from the poppier songs that you've heard previously. Like it has a bit more of like that, like kind of punky, kind of fast, upbeat, kind of edgy sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's like another insight into specifically how he's feeling. It's that thing of like, I'm progressing and I'm growing up. I'm getting older. This is what I've learned. And then he says in the end of the song, the last original, when I say original lyric, I mean like not repeated in the song.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll never give up until I reach my goal, controlling body and soul. And it's like, that's super mature because I don't know how many people in their 20s will be thinking that kind of like proactively and productively. Like it would just be like, I'm just enjoying life, very hedonistic kind of thing. I'm here now for like what I want now. But he's like, no, I'm trying to be better. He said, at 23, I was far from feeling free. At 24, my life was a big bore. Now I'm 25. I'm still not high yet. I'm 25, but still alive. It's like, I'm still not to where I want to be, but I'm getting there because my life was worse before. Like it's improving. It's a cool angle. He said, I got to learn to say no, disallow. Man, not to be like, wow, how deep, but like how many people could benefit from hearing that you got to learn to say no to things and to people and that kind of stuff.
Penguins and polar bears.
Yeah. What'd you give this one?
Flame.
Oh, man. I love hearing when you have you give the weakest flame high fives. You pull back every time I do it. Give me a proper one. There we go. That's what I'm talking. Ow. That's good. That's sick. Yeah. That makes me so happy to hear when you land a flame.
What? Learn to flame?
Land a flame.
Oh, okay.
When you learn to flame, could figure it out.
Little boy learning how to flame.
So what about it?
The chorus is just all time.
Yes.
Like it's just for me, it's easily the best track on the album.
Okay.
I
think
huge.
So. Yeah. No cigar on the album. Then again, that's my flame. I gave this a crown, by the way, just cool. Just so the ratings are close.
Like the chorus is just like, it's just that anthemic.
Did they open with this when we saw them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And close with No Cigar.
Look at that.
Yeah.
For us. That's for us. Flame intro, flame outro.
And it was so good seeing it live as well.
Yeah. I was thinking, I was like, I wonder what they're going to open with live. And I was like, what if they open with No Cigar? Because I thought, well, it makes sense to close with it because everyone knows that song. But like, what if they just opened with it? That'd be such a like a ballsy, like boss move. Do you know what I mean? Come out and just open with No Cigar. But they open with this, and I was like, good choice. That's a really good opener.
Yeah. Totally got the crowd into it as well, like straight away. Yeah.
And it's one that isn't it really cool when you're around, like, of course, because they're fans and they're going to go see the band. But when you're around a crowd of people and they're like singing all the lyrics so loud and you're like, damn, these guys know the Millencolin way better than I do. And I know them pretty well. Like their fan base is so strong. That's awesome.
This is another one though, where I'm surprised at what you said at the start. I wish more of the album was like.
This is one that does sound like No Cigar.
This sounds like No Cigar for sure.
Yeah.
It's got that same minor major type sound at the start.
Yeah, I think I was wrong when I said it didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think
we've established that.
Okay, but the reason I say that is because I didn't listen through the whole album being like, and at the end of it, I've come to the decision that it doesn't sound like No Cigar. Like that isn't what happened. What actually happened is that I skipped through the tracks to be like, where is the song that sounds like No Cigar? None of them really did, so I kind of just moved on.
Yeah.
So I was definitely wrong about that. I can hear a lot of stuff that sounds like No Cigar coming through. And I actually have a note here. I said, good sound to this one, a bit darker in the verses than No Cigar, but it ties No Cigar in nicely. Like this definitely does do that.
Yeah. Perfect bridge.
I thought you just said Def Flamely. And I was like, you're really pushing that flame angle.
Def Flame.
Def Flamey.
Perfect bridge too. But they like bring it down and there's like a syncopated type drum beat happening.
Yep.
Totally chills it out and then it like goes in with like the double time chorus right at the end.
Yes.
It's just like a perfectly constructed pop punk song.
Yeah, it's just one of those songs that is just so like it's just built for live. You know what I mean? Like it's such an anthemic kind of sound, and it's so. But it when you say anthemic, I think that word might get a bit overused and stuff. But this really is like anthemic, like down to even what the lyrics are saying and like what they're standing for. I mean, not literally an anthem, but yeah, it's really really cool. But that's sick. I love hearing that you like this song so much. I personally love it. I think it's a really really good song. As I say, gave it a crown. I think it's one of those ones that if I was to list my favorite songs on this album, it would be like up there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even remember. I don't want to say, just in case there's ones coming later that I don't want to spoiler alert, but it would be on the top side of my favorites. Like it's right up there. I don't even know. I mean, obviously you rated it higher as a flame, but I wouldn't know if I'd put this higher than Fox or Fox higher than this one, but that's how the level it's at. You know what I mean?
I've put this one higher than Fox because Fox is like Fox is a great song, but I don't think you connect with it in the same way that you do with something like this because it's kind of it's a little bit funny.
Yes.
And so it's a fun song and it's like super catchy.
Yeah, it's like First Date or something like that. Or like In Too Deep by Sum 41 or something like that where you're like, that's a really cool song and it's really, really good. No doubt it's a crown, but you wouldn't connect with that emotionally like you would other songs. Yeah.
Yeah. Hellman.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one?
Crown.
Crown for me as well.
Yeah.
I would have maybe rated this a flame a couple of years ago. I emotionally connected with this song so much, and I loved so much of what they did with this song. But I just found listening to it now, I'm like, no, it's a crown. Like it's maybe I just really loved it at that time, which is really good to like sit with a song for that reason. But I loved it when I first heard it. It's so solid. What I love about it, the chorus is just unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And it's also so damn vulnerable. Like the lyrics. Yeah. The other songs some are fun and some are emotional, but this one is just so vulnerable about I love this girl, but I can't tell her. You know what I mean? And but I'm too scared to say that I love you. It's not that it's for any real reason. It's like a lack of control. It's like feeling bad about himself, and it's so introspective and stuff. But for the chorus to just straight up be like shining the light on himself is the problem. Like that's why the song is just so emotional and so vulnerable. And I mean, like that's a really difficult spot to be in, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to being in love with someone, but for some reason you're too scared to say you are. And like that, to me, I'm like, that's all the, making little markers of being a potential flame. So I could understand if people say, no, Hellman is a flame, I'd be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's really, really
And
cool.
it kind of comes back to what we were saying before about how like they're so genuine.
Yes.
Like, because he's writing from this like really honest like perspective.
But none of it at all feels like they're writing a song so that people relate to it and then they connect with the band more. It doesn't feel calculated. It doesn't feel anything. Like that. It feels genuine and authentic. It
also doesn't feel over the top either, I don't think.
Exactly. Yeah. I wanted to kind of like really look into that a bit more to find out like what is it about them that is specifically like gives them that? Because sometimes other bands can come off and say the same kind of thing, but like they come off way less.
Yeah.
I don't know, just far more like it seems more calculated and more like a decision rather than an authentic portrayal of the inner self. Really, really cool.
The line, but still there's so much in me that I don't share. Like it's just
the way he hits that too with the harmony. It's like the into the chorus. If you were like, in a band, this would be a fun song to cover. Like, it's just got that kind of really good like cover choice energy.
I love the vocals and palm muted guitar to start.
Yeah.
Anytime a song starts with vocals and palm muted, I'm on board. Like, it's like, you got me straight away.
Chuck a pick slide. You got me. I'm in.
Chuck a pick.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Is there a bad example of that? Like, does it ever not work?
Yeah.
To just start a song. I know there's drums as well here in some songs. You don't necessarily need that.
Yeah.
But just like starting with vocals and a palm muted guitar.
Yeah.
That just always lands. There's no
bad example.
Yeah, there's no bad example.
To be honest, I can't think of any examples. Do you have any in your mind of ones that do good?
Still Waiting.
Good choice.
Yep.
Palm muted too.
Basket Case by Green Day.
Good.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm saying,
you're prepared.
There's tons of awesome ones.
All right, you got me. You're prepared.
There's tons of awesome ones, but all I'm saying is I just don't think you'll find a bad one.
Send in if you know any bad examples of palm muted and intro singing guitar stuff. But the way he just comes in with the line, no matter, what does it say? No matter what I feel for you, there's 3 words I can't say. And like, you know exactly what he's talking about straight from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's not dancing around it or whatever, anything like that. What a journey the album has been so far, because where could you, as I was saying, it's like, you can't predict lyrically what it's going to be about.
No.
It's like, No Cigar, heavy emotional song. I Love My Motorcycle, to like Material Spending, to like,
and there's a few more sweets to come as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then to this one where it's like, I'm in love with my girlfriend, I can't tell it. Like, it's just, but it feels genuinely like, and no wonder they did so well. It feels like he's your Swedish friend that you just like know about his life and you know what he's going through, and all of it's so real and authentic that it's almost like through the music you feel like you know him better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hellman.
We did that one. So good. Let's talk about it again.
Yeah. Devil Me.
Yes. I gave this one a great.
Oh, I said Crown.
Oh, we've disagreed. Under the Crown barrier.
Got there.
Yeah, we did. I think maybe because it came straight after Hellman, and that was where I gave it a Crown, and I don't think it's as good as, in my opinion.
For me,
I really like this song.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thus the rating.
But so we're off on that one. I said a great vibe in this one. I love the lyrics in it, but there's one particular bit I'll just say quickly.
Yeah.
That part where he does the not a nice bass. That's banging. That when that comes in, that is just rhythm so good.
Yeah.
I love that bit so much.
But dude, the chorus in this song, like it just elevates it so much. Like the song is good, but potentially great.
Yeah.
But the chorus for me is just like,
okay, yep, takes you straight
I
to
want
it.
it all.
Yeah.
That's just so, it's sick.
It is very good.
Yeah.
I think that I was very challenged with this album about ratings. I actually went back through and like listened to songs quickly, just jumping to their choruses and their verses and stuff, being like, I gave this one a crown. Am I happy with that? Because some songs I was like, is this a crown or is it not? Like, should I bump another one up high? And I was very like clear about my ratings, and at the end I came to it where I was like, I think I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah.
Because this is a great song. I don't think it's a banger. I don't think it's a crown. I think it's a great song.
But for me, this is an example of what I was saying before about how like pretty much every song on this album just has something that hooks you and grabs you.
Yeah.
And like for this one, you're listening to this song and I would have said, yeah, it's good. And then the chorus comes in and it's just like,
yeah, true.
It just grabs you at that point. And I'm like, I'm all in.
It's funny that because I love the verses. I wouldn't even say that. I think they're beyond good. I think they're great. I think the chorus is great too. I just, I love the, yes, I'm a Yugoslav, indeed a Swede. Got two brothers and they go, this thing, he's just giving you his life on a plate, just like here, in a book. This is who I am, everything about me.
But again, that's like this song, it jumps around, which is kind of cool. And so, like you get, as you say, like you get this deep song about how he can't tell his girlfriend how he feels. And then now he's writing a song that's like talking about how he wants to be a farmer. And
it just feels like hanging out with a mate. Like he has his ups and downs kind of thing. But to me, the bridge sounds like Your Favorite Weapon by Brand New. Something like off that with the chord progression before it cracks back into the chorus.
Yep. Yeah, right. Because I love the bridge.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, there's like a little 4-chord theme that they're doing.
Yes,
and then like,
that's the part.
Yep.
And then the octavey part.
The octave
thing.
run.
Yeah. That's less of Your Favorite Weapon. But I think that just the palm muted high bit that he's doing over the top.
Yeah.
And then it comes into the octave part. To me, I was like, that reminds me of Your Favorite Weapon.
Yeah. Okay.
Same kind of production too, I think.
Yes.
And like music, the way they're panning everything, it just sounded a bit like Your Favorite Weapon.
The octave runs in this song generally are really good.
Yeah.
In fact, one note I had about this is I think the guitarists complement each other really well on the whole album.
Yeah.
Like the guitar parts just work together really well.
And also, I don't think they particularly just found a tone and then committed to it for the whole album. That might be the case in choruses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they know when that needs to be a special part. Let's find the tone.
Yeah.
Like it's very intentional.
Yeah.
You obviously won't agree with this because you've given it a crown. But for me personally, I said maybe this would be a crown if you polished it, but then would it lose its soul? Because there's a lot of soul in this that I think if you made it cleaner and tighter and made the sounds tighter and put bigger harmonies in, like prettied it up, it might make it a crown, in my opinion. But I think this is the charm of the song is to have a bit of, it's not sloppiness, but it's not mechanically tight in the verses.
But the chorus is very poppy.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So I get the verses.
I'm talking about verses.
The verses, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But the verses, I think you're right. The verses are charming.
Yeah.
Partly because of the lyrics, and it's a little bit more unique compared to the other songs in terms of like the rhythm that they're using and that sort of thing. But the chorus is where it ties it back into the other songs on the album.
So the chorus is what you love.
The chorus for me is what puts it over the level, over the edge of a crown song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
And I would say that's what kind of gives the song its polish because that's like, it's a super poppy chorus.
So stop to think. What'd you give it?
I said great.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I knew that this would be one that we probably would disagree with. I gave this a fine.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the reason is because I was torn between a fine and a good. It's probably like at least a good for most people. Like I get that.
Yeah.
But personally, the thing that I found the hardest was that it just felt like it like fell over itself a lot in the song. It's like he's trying to it's like the song might be 10 BPM too fast, but I thought about that. Should they slow it down? Like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
But it just feels a bit like it's just going blah, 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 blah. Here's a bunch of lyrics and then straight into the pre-chorus and then the song kind of falls into the chorus and falls back into the verse and it doesn't breathe ever. And I think to me, that's where I'm like, it just felt a little bit, I don't know. To me personally, I was like, it's fine. Like I was going to say it's good and it probably is good for most people. But for me, as I said, I couldn't get over it feeling like, it felt like when I admit that I'm this person a lot of the times, but when you're talking to someone, you're like, dude, just take a breath. Like you're running out of air. Like you're talking too much. So like, that's what that song felt like to me.
Right.
Had that tension because of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, again, it was another one where the chorus just really elevated it. And I think without that chorus, I definitely wouldn't have given it a grade. It probably would have only been a good. Maybe a fine as well.
Fair enough.
But love the chorus.
Sometimes it's a good thing in a song where there's a lot of lyrics and the song doesn't technically take a breath. And he does that in other songs too, where we've talked about him singing really fast and it works really well there.
Yeah.
But here it just felt like he's catching up with the song the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it's a bit ahead of him and he's just a bit behind it. But then again, that sounds like if he fixed the vocal recording that I would say it's better. Maybe that might be true. Who knows? But like to me, it wasn't about that.
Is it faster noticeably than other songs on the album in terms of tempo?
Probably not, I'd say. Yeah.
Interesting.
It just felt a little bit, I don't want to say sloppy because it's not sloppy, but it felt like if sloppiness is not being able to stick to the beat properly and being falling over the beat, it felt not structurally sloppy, but macro level sloppy. It feels like the song was trying to catch itself all the time and was never really just in a flow. It didn't feel like it flowed a lot. So I said it was fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's a very high level fine. Like it probably was just outside of good.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I was like, you know what? No, this is a good song. And then I listened to it, I'm like, but I just can't get past that feeling emotionally that I felt like it's just chaotic a little bit, or just like out of control a little bit. But it's still like it's a good. I mean, it's a good song. It's a fine song, but it's not a bad song by any means.
Yeah,
but they did a good job with it.
The Mayflower.
Yeah, would you give this one?
I said great.
Same. I gave this one great as well.
Cool.
Do you get the vibe like halfway through the verse when he gets into that part where he goes, burn out as can be,
yeah.
That reminds me of Warning by Green Day. It has that kind of same kind of like,
sure.
It's got that kind of vibe. In the second half of the verse. Love that bit.
Yeah.
I love how he goes up in the melody of that line too.
Yeah.
They're really cool. Especially because the guitars smack in there too. It's just got that same kind of, what was the song earlier that had that upbeat kind of bouncy vibe to it? Fox maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's another one too that did it, but it has that kind of sound too. It's just a bit of a slower bouncy beat, but it's so catchy and really good.
I thought it's a really nice change up in tempo. It's like the album has so much energy.
Yes.
And it's quick, and then this one is a nice little break from that.
It's so solid. Like it just feels so punchy and solid. It's got a good, it feels like a solid walk. You know what I mean?
It does, yes.
This is another great song that really ties the bangers together, I feel. Like the the album definitely has its hits, and these are the ones that just so solidly, like fillers shouldn't be this good. And this is clearly
it is a filler song.
Yeah,
really.
It sounds like a filler song, but it that isn't a negative thing. Like, you know, I don't use that term to be like filler is negative. Because really, like a lot of people's filler songs that are still good are good. But they have great fillers. They're like, that's why this album's great.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Part of it is
see how it comes out, but
I think part of it is because they still find ways that their fillers are interesting and memorable.
Yes, absolutely. I have a note here that I just realized I had written down. I said, man, this album has some solid, consistent choruses. Like they are not short of good choruses on this album. Like,
that's like my whole point about this album. Is just like it's just one awesome chorus after another. Or you know, most of the time it's the chorus. Sometimes it's the verse, but it's always something that
you can always like trust on them to deliver with like a banging chorus.
Yeah.
But no, I thought this is, especially at like track 10, this is usually where you'd start to like on a 14 track album, start to kind of like tune out a little bit, or you need something to keep people's attention. And to bring in this sound now is sick. Like this is such a good, punchy, as I said, like slow kind of walk sound. And it's just, it's a good vibe. It just brings you back to the album, gets your attention like focused towards the last couple of songs, but also in a way that isn't familiar because other songs don't sound exactly like this.
No, this is definitely, stands out. And they could have used it earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Like it wouldn't be uncommon on an album like this where this would be maybe like the third or fourth song.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say about third song or even second but then you got Fox there. So you might want to not move that out. But like,
because it's certainly melodic enough that it could be one of the earlier songs.
Yes.
But they definitely benefit from holding it back a little bit so that you just kind of get those energetic songs like one after the other early on. Yeah,
and I would say that type of, ability to be able to do that, but creative decision to do that as well is what I personally think separates good albums from great albums. Like this is what makes this album so great is because of the fact that they're able to do that. All right, Highway Donkey.
Crown.
Oh, really? I gave this a good.
A good?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't connect with it like that.
Oh, man. I just love how aggressive this song is to start.
Yeah. No, I agree.
This is another one that just
I don't agree with
hits
the Crown. I'm not changing my position. But I think that...
you haven't heard me yet.
I agree that it's... we gave it a Crown.
I haven't heard my reason.
True. All right, you got me. So the verse is... that does hit you hard. That is a really hard-hitting like intro thing.
Yeah.
Did you hear... that verse sounds a lot like Natives by Blink-182 from Neighborhoods.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me show
Yeah.
you because I think that you probably get it here, right? And then back to this. Oh, hang on. Oh, there's my...
I can see it.
Yeah.
It certainly wouldn't have occurred to me until you mentioned it, though.
Yeah, but it's got
Which
that
is
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
sure.
dun, 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 that he just changes the thing a little bit. But to me, that was just sounded so similar. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Interesting.
Um,
So that's interesting because I gave this a crown.
Yeah.
And I love how aggressive it is to start. I love that it then goes into a halftime chorus.
yes.
It's epic.
It
And
is.
I don't really do many halftime choruses. Most of it is
True.
full time or double time.
With the big BVs in the chorus too, like the boy band style-esque backing vocals. that I said.
not good.
yeah, it's so much, but it's so lush and like big.
Yeah.
It's got that minor Millencolin sound too, like No Cigar. In the,
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Like the start.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And that solo, do you know who's playing that solo?
No.
In the bridge?
No.
That's Brett Gurewitz,
Oh, really?
the producer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
I thought that I read the notes saying here when I was listening to it that this song would go off live. I think it would be a really good like third song to keep the energy up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Really good
Did
like
they play
live
it
track.
live? I don't actually remember now.
No, it was such a blurry kind of set. It just kind
Yeah.
of all blended into one another. So
Are you sure?
am I sure about what?
Are you sure they didn't play it?
No, I just said I didn't know because it all
Oh,
bled into one another. Are you sure that it all bled into one another,
I
or
don't
do
know.
you
I'm
remember?
sure.
I don't trust you that you don't remember.
I thought you said no.
no,
Yeah, right.
I said I
Understandable.
don't remember.
Yeah, cool. Interesting.
The
So why then? What was it missing from your perspective that would have elevated it? Because, to me, it seems to have all the pieces of something that's better than just a good song.
I usually do the test to get straight away to know whether something's a crown or not. Is like, do I want this on my playlist of the best songs? Like, do I want to be in the shower and this song come on and me not want to step out of the shower into the cold to hit skip? Because I want a non-skippable playlist.
You don't want to get cold.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with crowns. You don't skip any of them because
Sure.
they are that good. So then I'm like, would I skip this song if it came out in the shower and I just wanted to hear bangers? Yeah, like I probably would. Like it's
Interesting.
not a song that I'd be like,
even
if it came on, I wouldn't be like, oh, this song by Millencolin, I love it.
Yeah, right.
Like it just doesn't have that. It's really, really good. It probably is a very high level good for me. I wouldn't be offended if I rated this, in the future and I gave it a grade. I wouldn't be like, it doesn't deserve
I'd
that.
be surprised if you were offended.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't be
Offended at
like
your future self.
yeah, how dare you? Rate consistently. But that's the thing. It's the verses are really bitter. Which is great. And then the chorus is so I think the verses are better than the chorus. That's my notes that I have here. I think the chorus is good.
I'm just a sucker for like a
Sing-alongable
banger, like
chorus.
epic chorus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's what this has. It's still a good chorus, but they don't really miss. They don't have bad choruses on this album, really.
No, that's true.
So yeah, it's still really good. I think maybe I think the verses are great. I would have given the grade if the chorus just was a bit more full. I think it just feels a little bit I don't know. I haven't really broken down what I would do to improve it. Like I'm not like kind of go and say, Millencolin, please go back and re-release this and I'll give it a grade. But I don't know what it's missing. It just didn't hit me. Whatever it's missing, it was that was the reason I didn't feel emotionally moved by it that much.
And I think one of the reasons why I probably was emotionally moved by it is I really like the sentiment of the song. Interesting that you said the verses are really bitter. I didn't necessarily see them that way. And certainly the choruses.
Sorry, I meant bitter sounding, like the like that kind of spitey, angry kind of thing sound. It's not lyrically that bitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I should clarify.
I was going to say lyrically it doesn't,
has that kind of spitey kind of sound to it.
And certainly like the choruses it's all about him just being like, I'm going to be my own person.
Yeah.
Do my own thing.
I said there's lots of themes of getting older and transitioning into true adulthood. So not like when you first say, oh, I'm transitioning into adulthood, but come on, like 18 to like 25 is like just learning how to be an adult. And like he's really trying to find himself on this album, and there's a lot of lyrics about that. Which makes me think, it just makes me kind of like really happy for them, but in like a really like that's really sweet and endearing kind of way. It's like they're this band from Sweden who are like, we're going to give it our best shot. We're going to America, recording with this producer. I'm going to write the best lyrics I can. We're going to write the best songs we can. Like it just really feels like they really tried and did a really good job.
Do you think also that they'd obviously started touring a bit more internationally before this album came out. So they're seeing a little bit more of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe
does this look infected effect?
Maybe. And like, you know, that probably leads you to be a little bit more introspective and like reflect on.
You're right. It's also their 4th album. So at this point, they've really kind of got.
All right. A10.
A10. I gave this one a good.
Okay. I gave it a fine.
A fine? Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think that it's a good song, but I think this is it's a fine good song. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a low good for me.
That's the most I could say of it, to be honest. It's fine.
If I can be completely honest, I think I was like subtly pressured for this.
By whom?
Myself, but also the impending Millencolin fans that I know this song matters a lot to the culture. The fan base as well.
This song matters to the...
Yeah, well, they did this live and people were like singing this so hard. And the song is obviously about someone losing their mother. And I think a lot of people would gravitate toward that song whenever they've lost anyone and would be like,
fair enough.
This song gave me a conduit to process that grief through. So they probably have a very big attachment to it.
Yes.
So I couldn't be like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's a good song, but I think that for some people, they might be like, this is a flame because I cry every time I hear it, you know?
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, fair enough.
It sounds a lot like the emo bands that would come shortly after, like the other songs as well, especially in the intro and the riff and the chords. I think that it's really interesting because if you were in a band and you were influenced by Millencolin, and you could be in like so many different genres, like for a band that sounds like it's in quite a, not narrow, but it's in a very defined genre space.
Yeah.
There are people have like picked and chosen bits of Millencolin to be influenced by for later genres across a really wide range of music. Which is really interesting. I said this is a really heartfelt song. I think people who heard it at the time may have really connected with it. It just doesn't hit me in that same way, but I can still appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good, really deep lyrics. And but also the lyrics feel like he's a friend talking to a friend, being like, we're going to get through this and I'm next to you. This is that vibe that I'm saying, but it feels like hanging out with your Swedish friend.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think just musically, it didn't really land for me. I think it's tough because this is an album full of songs that have aspects of them that are super memorable. Like they give you something in every song that you remember and that hooks you in. And then this song for me just lacks that.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's the only song on the album I probably would cut.
Okay.
If I was refining the album.
For some people, maybe the memorable part is the attachment to the grief and the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like that, it might be the lyrics in this one, not the music. And in that case, you'd be like, okay, sure, like I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did say on a positive note, guitar solo. How cool is it to hear like a ripping guitar solo in a punk rock song?
You get a few of those on this album.
Yeah. It's just a little, little rare little thing that should be acknowledged when you hear it.
Yeah.
But they've just got those big BVs in the chorus again. Like they really know how to get their backing vocals sounding good, and they've just utilized them. At first, when I first heard it, I was like, "Is this not a gimmick?" But you know when you do something with a recording and you go, "This song should have big backing vocals," and then you never do it for the rest of the recordings.
Yeah, right.
But they've really made it part of the sound of the album. But it's just because it's not in No Cigar, I don't think, and I don't think it's in Fox as well.
Backing vocals,
the big backing vocal sound. So to me, it sounded a bit not jarring, but a bit like out of. I thought it was going to be a song-specific creative choice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's probably a little bit more like what they do is a little bit more like what you were saying before with like the wall, like when you were saying it's got that kind of emo sound where like the vocals had that kind of wall of sound type. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I was going.
I was with you for the ride. I was with you for the ride anyway.
All right, Pepper.
Yeah, really at the end. I give this one a great.
Great. Okay, I said good.
Okay.
For this one.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. I liked that I didn't know where it was going.
That it didn't know where it was going.
I didn't know where it was going.
I thought you said, I liked that it didn't know where it was going.
I enjoyed watching it get lost. No, I liked that it was a bit less predictable than some of the other songs on the album.
Yeah. Yep, fair enough. I think that it picks the album right back up after a very heartfelt A10. Like, you get straight back into it like that. It's such a motivational song. So many motivational songs come off cheesy, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But this one feels authentic and well-meaning. It's I feel like the chorus carries this song a little and carries that motivational tone a little as well.
I agree with that for sure.
But you know, usually when people are like, believe in yourself and that kind of messaging, it feels a little bit, all right, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sure, it just feels a bit cheesy.
Yeah.
But this just feels good. It's such positive chorus. It sounds, I know this obviously because it's Pennybridge Pioneers, but this sounds so much like the album. Like if you were to put this on, it sounds so much like the rest of the good choruses and it has that sound.
Yeah.
They've done that really well without it coming off like, oh, okay, this again. Isn't that interesting? They've got so many good choruses, but you're never like, okay, I'm getting a bit tired of this style of chorus.
Yes.
They have variety in it.
Absolutely.
This song is so short. It's like 1:48 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Guessing.
Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, but it's exactly because that's what I had here. It's so short, but it's all it needs to be. It's a good creative decision.
Yeah.
Like it is so short.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was played the song and at the end of it, I was listening to them individually out of the CD rip that I had.
Yeah,
and it finished the song and I have to play it again. And I was like, oh, it's 1:58. I was like, is that or 1:48, however long it is? Is that how long the song actually is? I feel like there's more Your Favorite Weapon style sound in the bridge by Brand New. It takes me back to like summer when I was 14.
Nice.
But it just has that kind of like that sound to it. I mean, when did that album come out? Around the same time. So maybe they'll kind
I
of...
would have said about 2001.
Yeah. When was this? 2000?
Yeah.
I wonder. Like, you never know with bands like that who their big influences are. But because, you talk to a band and they'll be like, oh, we listen to these bands. But a lot of the times that's very intentionally chosen to leverage the status that those bands give them by listening to them, which is why when you talk to some bands and they go, oh, we listen to like The Cure, the Rolling Stones, bands like that, and you go, okay, no, who do you really listen to that you try to pull from? Because I don't want to say, oh, the band that we're on tour with at the moment, because it sounds like they're stealing off Friends or something like that, or not thinking highly enough.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like Brand New were like, oh, we really liked Pennybridge Pioneers. Like that was a really good album. We listened to that a lot. Or maybe the key is Jesse Lacey did most of the songwriting, right? So maybe he's like, I really liked it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like those bridges, but
I've never really drawn the connection, to be honest.
I don't know. It just to me it sounds like it's one of my favorite albums. Like I just hear it when I can. The part where he says, "They say you're lazy and don't want to work. It's not too crazy not to want to slave. You're not a jerk." I was like, so Swedish. Like I don't know. It just comes off that way. It's really cool. You're not a jerk. Like I don't know, it's just it's so literal.
Yeah.
So straight to the point.
The ballad.
What'd you give this one?
I said Flame.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm happy for you. I don't agree, but
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is going to be so controversial because the stuff I have to say, I know people like this song.
Yeah.
They played it live. Everyone was singing it at the top of their drunk little voices. Like, I get it. It's an anthem. It's really good.
Even though he was having all sorts of guitar problems when he was playing it. Do you remember that?
Oh, because he came out with an acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah. I don't know whether it was maybe him, how he was hearing it or something like that. There were issues.
Yeah. I said, then again, people just loved it because they're just like, this song is good. And I know that I gave it a good.
You gave it good?
Yeah, I know. I know that some people won't be happy about that.
Our greatest disparity in ratings?
Maybe. Could be.
Yeah. This song, though, this is an interesting example of the difference between like a Crown song and a banger, because this is all about the connection to the song. Like if you feel an emotional connection to it,
100%,
it's going to carry.
And
you.
At the end of the day, this is all subjective, so you can't really feel bad about not rating like other people.
But it's not a song like you would never give this a Crown because it's not like a banger.
Good
point. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. We talked about this forever ago about how Flame doesn't necessarily need to be a Crown that is better. Like it could be a song that is great, is a great song, but the flameness, because it was like the bigger the gap is from the rating, the more emotional work it has to do to get you there. So it deserves the Flame.
Yeah.
But there's songs that I've heard that I've given flames to like casually or unofficially because we haven't done it as part of the book club. But I would say that that's actually kind of it's a great song. It's not a banger. Like it's not a Crown.
Yeah.
That's a really good point that you just made because I wouldn't say that this song's a Crown. And if it wasn't a Flame, it would be a Crown. I could understand you saying if I didn't emotionally connect with this, I'd say it's great. But it's interesting because there's not always the Flame is like a lateral rating rather than even though it's worth more.
Yeah.
It's not a sequential. Yeah.
But I just think this is a song for me that like it doesn't matter how many times you hear it, every time it just hits you. Like somehow it just lands. Like I'm really surprised that
it hits me.
I'm surprised that it doesn't have that effect for you.
I can tell you why.
Please do.
People won't like it because it sounds like I'm just being negative.
Yeah.
I said controversial, I'm sure, but this song never grabs me. I think it's the lyrics. It feels a little bit too feel sorry for yourself because I know, I wrote here I feel, but I'm pretty confident that people will identify as the main character rather than for the main character when they hear the song going, oh, that poor dude. I think they're going to be like, that's me. I'm the guy who's never been picked for class, like for gym class or whatever he says. Last selection in the ball game, he's the scapegoat. Everyone feels so bad. Do you know that he's all alone? And it's cool lyrics. I like that he says he makes up excuses to not have to go to the prom. Says that he has the flu and stuff. Yeah. That's really cool.
I think like the emotional weight in the song is the fact that it's so like empathetic about this other person.
Are you saying that so when you listen to it, you feel bad for that guy?
Yes.
Oh, I feel like a lot of people, because people see stuff through themselves, that a lot of people would listen to that going, I've felt like that. I know how that feels.
And I think it would be perfectly legitimate to think that. But for me, it's like one of those songs where like you think back to people you knew in high school and you're like, what was that person
that's
really
a good point.
Feeling behind the scenes? Like people that you saw that were being bullied and that sort of thing.
Okay.
This is the sort of song that makes you kind of stop and go, I wonder like how that person was feeling.
That's actually a really good point.
Like, yeah.
I did not consider it that way.
That's where the weight to the song comes from.
Okay.
And when you look at it through that lens.
Perhaps I'd rate it differently.
It lands for me for sure.
I think because a part of me went, I know that a lot of people, when I know that people sing along to this song and they see themselves as that character, I'm just a bit like, come on. Like when you're younger, I've read this at the bottom. Regardless, who cares what I think? It worked. I wonder if teenage me would have cried to this. You know what I mean? Like when you just feel sorry for yourself in high school, like you would be like, I'm that guy who's all alone. But now I'm a bit like, I'm an adult being like, I don't know. I just feel like you kind of got to fix your own problems. You can't sit around and complain about them sort of thing. And that's what it would feel like if I was to connect with that song like that now.
Yeah.
But I had never considered about observing thinking about kids that had been through that and seeing what they've been through. That's a really good angle. Thank you for enlightening me on that.
You're welcome.
As I said here, I don't think it's bad or even fine. It's good. It's just, in my opinion, it's just not great.
Yeah.
I would have guessed that you would have either given this, funnily enough, either a great or a fine. I thought it was going to be one or the other close to me. But interestingly, gave it a flame. Very, very, very happy for you there.
I don't know whether we mentioned this before, but like it was one of the songs I knew of this band.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like I think Ben Chadbourne gave it to me on like a mixed CD, like he must have made that had this song on it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And so I think it was one of the first songs of this band that I heard. So like a song that's not punky at all.
Yeah.
Was like one of my first exposures to them. And this was kind of the song I knew them for.
Yeah, that's interesting.
For a long, long time.
One thing I'll say, it's really good. Like, it's a cool. I don't think it would work. Or maybe it would, but I don't think in this album it would work anywhere else in the track listing. So it's really cool to have this at the end.
It's interesting. I was going to ask that. Like, do you think the album is better if this is in the middle, where you would often see a ballad or something that's like quieter and slower?
True, but then you have to answer the question of what would you put last then? And would that just be another upbeat kind of thing? This is a really intentional kind of wrap-up song.
And I agree. I think they made totally the right call to put it at this end.
Well, last week we did Lost Without You, and this is like a better Lost Without You
for sure
type of song.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess when you're taking a step and you're writing a song that's outside your genre.
Yeah.
Because it's not even really just like an acoustic punk song.
No.
It's totally different.
It sounds completely different.
Yeah.
And live it was totally different for that too.
Yeah. I think to put it at the end makes complete sense. I was just wondering if you thought that there were other spots to put it.
No, I think that it's probably pretty perfect where it is. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
It's just interesting that like how many albums are there that end on a song that is
very stylistically different?
Well, also just like one of their most famous songs.
Oh yeah, true. Right. Yeah. Good point. I have to keep an eye out for that. See if there's any more of that elsewhere. I have one note here that I thought was really funny, that I thought you might find funny. At the very end, because they have that really big epic outro and stuff like that, and it starts fading. And then at the very last few seconds, you can hear the drummer go to double time.
Yes, I've noted about that. Yes.
What'd you say?
I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But you know what's really funny is that it's such a heartfelt, slow song and stuff like that. I just cracked up because I was like, the double time punk beat in the outro. And it fades. It's like the producer's like, don't even think about it. Like, they're just like, we need a slow one. Fade that just straight away. As soon as he starts getting into the beat, no, we told you.
And the drums just go.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, like, it's just such a strange decision at the end where it's like full halftime to just go into. I mean, it's cool. It's not out of place. It works. But to come in with that, the thought of like, they just can't help but be punk.
Yeah.
Like, it's that quick, turn it down. Like, we finished, we've wrapped it up.
I think it's really cool because it calls back to what they're all about.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
stylistically,
So
yeah.
it shows that they can't help but the Millencolin's going to come out whether they try to contain it or not.
Yeah.
Cool, so that's it. That's all the songs done. 14. That's a pretty long-ish album, but it didn't feel long.
No. There's only one song, as I was saying, that I would probably cut. Otherwise, yeah.
But then again,
just an awesome album.
Yeah. I mean, if you can be that consistent, it's kind of, it pays off. Like,
yes.
There wasn't any songs on here. I personally, even with the ratings I gave, there was no songs that I would say I'd cut that.
Yeah.
Because I can still be like, I think other people would love that song. It's not for me, but I think...
Which is a good point about that.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
But then again, this whole thing's subjective. We could be coming in being like, here's how I would design the perfect album for me. And that's all that matters because it's just about how you feel.
Yeah.
So you're in your right to say that. But I don't have much to say about it. I just think that genuinely it is one of the most like solid examples of like that era and that pop punk rock kind of vibe. I mean, yeah, I'm sure when I use terms like that, I'm sure there'd be some people like, it's not pop punk and it's also not punk rock or whatever. But you know what I mean? Of that genre, it's of all the music we listen to, I would consider it to be pop punk, especially of the era because it did change and evolve. Anyway, I'm just getting distracted. Arguing semantics at the end of the episode. But I think that it's a really good example of that. And I think that it's so solid. They should be so stoked with this. And I bet it's one of those albums where they come out of it being like, did we just write the best album we'll ever do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
totally.
I wonder if it is. Like, we'll have to go through all the Millencolin albums to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is a special album.
Yeah. For me, the thing that like strikes me about it is there are a lot of songs on there that sound similar. And I guess if you wanted to be critical about the album, you could say that maybe there is a lot of sameness to quite a lot of the songs. Like a lot of them,
if you didn't like the album, it would be a lot of what you don't like.
I think so. You'd probably say that it's this repetitive formula of upbeat songs that have these catchy choruses. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, it really works.
Yeah.
And it for me, it comes across as it's actually consistent and it's a really coherent album. And so even though there are a lot of songs that sound similar, it totally works. And as I was saying before, like I can remember the first time I listened to it, I was just like, wow, like one song after the next, you're just kind of like, this is sick.
It is like this is definitely like a hidden gem album. Like if you hadn't heard it before and you like the genre, this is a good discovery.
I was going to say, I think this is an awesome album if you're going to like try and sell the genre to someone.
Oh, yeah.
Or expose someone to the genre because it's kind of got poppy elements, but also like punk elements to it as well. And it's just like...
But it has a lot of grit. It doesn't feel... and maybe that came a little bit later when labels started to get heavily involved because it was a really marketable genre. But it doesn't feel plasticky or like...
Not at all. No.
It's very emotional and it's still got that authentic soul and heart. And I think that's of punk rock. And I think that is what you hear in a lot of this. It's gritty and it's real and it's meaningful.
Yep.
And that's a good point. That would be a really good album to show someone who hasn't heard the genre before.
Yeah.
Or like a follow-up album if they're like, I like these bands. What could you
Yes.
recommend me that's similar? And then you're like, well, Pennybridge Pioneers, you should listen to that.
Yeah. Or if you were like a newer, you were into that kind of era of pop punk that we got into and you wanted to start listening.
Listening backward.
This would be a good transition before you started listening to bands like Pennywise.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of, I think instrumentally, a lot of it, there certainly is like Pennywise, you can hear that inspiration.
Yeah, definitely.
But is more melodic
Yes.
and catchy. Yeah.
Cool. It's really good. So song ratings. What was your average, your score? What'd you give it?
5.5.
That's high. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nearly getting up to Crown territory.
Yeah.
Mine came out at 5.07. So we both gave it a 5.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? At the start of this episode, I said, I'd like to see how we actually go with seeing if we both gave. Because when I came back and rated it again, I was like, you're right. It's a 5-star album. Because we only rated to 5 at that point, I'm pretty sure. No.
Yeah.
We gave Crowns on top of the 5 stars to be like, these are our favorites. But we found we just were overly nostalgic. And that's why when we handed out Crowns. But
So
no.
for me, it's not far behind the Untitled Blink album.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you
Pretty
gave
close.
that specifically.
I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah, but we both gave it what we originally said. Maybe we don't need this new rating system. Just kidding. Good high five, mate.
Yeah.
Good solid one.
Been working on that since the last one.
So good. Alrighty, so that's it. That's Pennybridge Pioneers done and dusted. Anyway, so thanks so much for listening. By the way, just last week we forgot to say what the album was next. I had to do a video on my office. Oh, sorry guys, just on a video camera on my phone. But we will get to that in just a second. Hint, you may be able to see it right now. But before we get to that, thanks so much for listening. By the way, as you know, we're just getting started with this. And if you have any thoughts on the episode, if you want to come tear me apart, please be gentle about my thoughts about Millencolin. Same with Sam too. You can send them, go to poppunkbookclub.com and you can send it through the email there. Send us voice memos because we'll just play them on the show. If you send emails, we can read them out as well. But please let us know your thoughts, what you rated Crowns. Give us your ratings as well. I'd love to have get a group up and running where we can all put our ratings in and then talk about each week and where we rated it and stuff.
Like some kind of club.
Yeah, almost same format as a book club.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot now. Anyway, but thanks so much for listening. By the way, as I said, if you've got a friend that you think would like listening to this show, that grew up with this music, or someone who just wants to kind of get into it and you kind of just want to, introduce them, what better way than just doing it alongside with us? Because it gives you something to do each week, as you know, because you listen to the show. Thank you so much for being here. It would really help us out a lot if you go to the platform that you listen to this on and interact with it somehow. If it's on YouTube, then you can like and subscribe. That would be really good. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think there. Oh, comments. If people leave comments, we can read them out on the show too.
For sure.
But also, if you're listening to it on a podcast app, please go leave a 5-star review. That really helps us out and really helps us climb the rankings a bit more and more people come listen. It means we can do the book club more for you and we can make this happen for longer. So thanks so much for being a part of it. But Sam, you want to tell everyone what the album is for next week?
Next week, we are doing Dookie by Green Day.
Yeah, there we are, right on the pillow. Told them that they could see it. I was saying, we're going to have to do a thing where we have done all the albums from all the pillars because we've done Does This Look Infected?
Yep.
We've got Blink-182. We've got Dookie. And what have we got left? Ramones, Clash, and Smash by The Offspring.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting through. It's like Thanos with the Infinity Stones, but it's just the pillows on his fingers, right? Going to punch 50% of people in the head. So yeah, thanks so much for checking it out. poppunkbookclub.com. Get the rating guide there to join us for next week for Dookie. You don't have to pay for it, by the way. I feel like when I say that, it comes off a bit like, ooh, that's how they're going to get you. Go on their website and there's a little price to join. No, you get the same rating guide that we use on our things and you can join us, write a bunch of notes, rate it, send them through, and we'd love to see what you come up with. But until then, thank you so much for listening. Got anything else to say?
Nope.
I've just realized that at the end of each episode, you usually just let me ramble and you just kind of sit there quietly. So you need something to say at the end of each episode.
Like a sign off?